One. We're back. Welcome, guys, to the All Purpose Podcast. We're back for the second week in a row. It feels good to be here. It feels good to be back with my fellas. You guys are wondering, why is Haji and Hamza matching? Well, that's a good question. Earlier, we had a double date. No.
Just the two of them. No one else went.
No. So today was actually Muslims protesting at the Ohio State House, dressed in all black, which is why we have the attire on today. A big shout out to Anissa Liban and Maiko for hosting that and putting that together. It was a great turnout, mashallah. And yeah, we're just going to try and continue the fight, continue to make sure that our voices are being heard, that our frustrations, we're able to share some of those frustrations. But yeah, right now it's been a solid weekend. This week absolutely flew by, which is crazy. What's it been like for you guys?
That's great. First of all, I gotta say, we're second week. We're very consistent.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough.
Big shout out to us. You feel me?
That's awkward.
All right. It's been.
All right, carry. As you were saying.
All right, so it's actually been a quick week. I'm not gonna lie. I've been doing online classes this summer. You feel me? It's okay kicking my ass, man.
I know.
I teach you myself. I usually teach myself stuff for the classes, but I just like to have the idea of a live professor. But It is what it is. Other than that, we're back, man.
Yeah.
First podcast got a lot of good feedback.
Thanks.
So guys, please make sure to
like,
make sure to
subscribe,
make sure to
share,
tell a
friend,
to tell a
friend,
respect.
to tell their mom to give me a call.
That was not.
Wait,
that was not rehearsed. That was not rehearsed. But that's fucked up.
Whoa. I'm joking. Or am I? No. JK.
Yo, he just winked.
Yeah,
for audio listeners only, Haji is, let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. So, you guys are probably wondering, what are we going to talk about today? Well, that is a good question.
Because we're running the same thing. Nah.
No. Today we're actually going to be talking about kind of, creativity, the process within the black community. Also, why is it so frowned upon in the African community? You know what I mean? And what we can do to kind of change that kind of stigma. So to kind of start, I'd like to kind of hear some of your thoughts on, how the arts has impacted your life. And just to kind of like let's start with kind of how it began. Kind of when did your passion for the arts begin, essentially?
So what I define creativity as, in any creative platform, what I tell it as is a storytelling platform. You're just telling a story. When you're making a music, you're telling a story. When you're dancing, you're telling a story. When you're taking a photograph, you're telling a story. Any creativity, this is my thesis, by the way. Maybe someone said it before me. I'm not trying to take credit if they did.
Yeah.
But just trying to say, every creative platform is a storytelling platform. The question is, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna tell it? Are you gonna tell it through paintings? Are you gonna tell it through dance? Are you gonna tell it through music? Are you gonna tell it through poetry, to podcasts?
Yeah.
Shout out to us.
Big shout out.
Big shout out. So I was never an arts person. Like as a kid, I'm a kid. I watch Johnny Bravo's my favorite cartoon. Watching Johnny Bravo. I went to school like the normal kid. Watched sports. I'm a sports fiend. And then right now I am an artiste.
Yeah.
Not a photographer.
You're an artiste.
I'm an artiste.
There's a difference.
L'artiste. You feel me?
French twang.
Shout out to my French listeners out there. I know you're listening. But so what I do is I'm a photographer right now. I take photos, and right now I'm venturing into the movie business, to the movie world, right?
Yeah.
Script writing and all that beautiful stuff. Big shout out to Luqman. Luqman has been doing a lot more than me, so shout out to him. So right now, the reason why I am venturing more into the movie business is when you read a book, right? When you read that book takes you to your mind to just a certain level, right? And then when you listen to a song and you have your windows down, just bump into it, it takes your mind to a certain point, right? And whenever you're looking at a painting, like the Jordan, if I just took a photo of Jordan in Utah hitting that jump shot, just that little photo, it takes like, holy shit, what happened next, right? All of that. What movie does, it brings everything together. One of the greatest movie scenes I've ever watched is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly by Clint Eastwood. It's like that little scene, that last scene. I forgot to breathe, man. Like I literally forgot. The good, the bad, and the ugly were there with their guns out. The little music was there, intensity, the acting was there, the motion picture was there. that's when I realized movie is the ultimate form of art. And right now I'm actually becoming a movie buff, right? I would watch any movie right now.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Good, bad, or ugly.
Yeah.
You see what I did there?
The play on words. I like it. I like. I kind of like that reference as well.
All right.
That was quality.
So that's that, man. So right now I'm follow me on IG, Snapchat_Hamza. I take photos, here and there. My last photo is actually pretty good. I'm very proud of it.
It is fire.
Vogue.
Yeah.
Just like all of them, all fire.
Yeah.
Last one don't disappoint either.
That's true. Quality, fam. That's the type of work Hamza brings out all the time.
Yeah, I'm Steph Curry money from the
Quality
three.
person.
Whoa.
Only if his personality was quality.
Yeah,
you know
if
what
only.
Damn.
The guy's a prick, man.
I mean? Yeah, dude ain't shit.
Yo, don't tell our listeners, fam.
What about you, Luqman? How did you get started in the arts? We'll start with me. Me growing up, I was never really that I would sketch or I would trace. Whenever I'd go to the library, I'd get some of the some of the cartoon characters, so on and so forth, some of these anime figures, and I would just kind of trace and I would kind of sketch and I would just do that. But I was never really into that. I was never really into the art scene. Growing up, I played chess. I would play Sudoku. I would play sports. I enjoyed some of those things. I was never really an artist. But in regards to kind of being a creative person, it was, thankfully with, the push of Ayub earlier when I started podcasting. Yeah. And someone said podcasting requires, especially a good podcaster or a good podcast, requires three things.
Okay.
Right? And essentially it's the 3 E's. They've got to be engaging. So you got to make sure you're able to kind of relate to the, viewer. You're able to kind of get the viewer's attention. You're able to kind of grab it. Educating, something that's educational, something that the viewer can actually learn and understand from. And the final thing is entertaining, because at times you want to be able to laugh, crack jokes, so on and so forth. So you kind of want to have that happy feel so that you can essentially equate with, this podcast gives me this type of feels. And so someone mentioned that, and I turned bright red. I was blushing, you know what I mean? Absolutely blushing. So just kind of hearing that, I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was wonderful. And I felt like podcasting is kind of that creative thing that I'm able to do, thankfully. And that was just kind of my start. Going forward, I might become a rapper. I don't know. I've been, writing.
April Fool's nigga?
Gotcha. No, I'm joking. No. I don't see myself becoming a writer. I don't see myself acting. But I have you guys here. I'm just kind of just trying to mooch off of your success. Really, and just trying to enjoy, enjoy
Only one
the
successful here is saying they're trying to mooch off our success.
I enjoy the arts. I respect it, and it requires, a ton of work for someone to kind of build that craft. Yeah. What about you, Luqman? What was your start to the arts, and what are your thoughts on it now?
For me, to be honest with you, the first time I was like, "Yo, damn, that's a beautiful piece of art," was when I was like 9 and I was watching LeBron James.
Wow.
Just him playing basketball. I was like, damn, this has got to be when people stand. I watch movies where people stand in front of paintings and they just like mesmerized about it, and they throw a lot of bullshit words. Yeah. You know what I mean, to make it seem more interesting than it actually is. And I was like, why the fuck is this nigga the way he plays? Now, why is it not considered art? You know what I mean?
It is art. Who doesn't consider art?
Just people.
I consider sports art.
Ever since that day,
ever
since the day I was 9 to how old I am now, I consider literally every time LeBron James plays or Serena Williams plays that it's art.
Pure art.
Clear art.
Yeah. Frankie, watching that nigga dominate the midfield. Yeah. That's art.
Yeah, Conte, Frankie. Oh, I thought you were talking about Frankie Dijon. I was like, you bringing up Arsenal? Why are you bringing up Barcelona at a time like this? So.
But LeBron James was kind of that first thing that kind of.
Yeah, it's like they just this is art. Like this is beautiful. Just the way the game is played and everything. You know what I mean? And so ever since then, I always considered sports art, and the sports always had like a deeper meaning than it is for most people. For me. And then after a while, so then I was always interested in like filmmaking and like films and all, and watched a lot of movies and everything. And then senior year, I had a lot of my credits. I just missing like 1 or 2 credits. So I took an alternative class, and that was like film and lit. And then we made a documentary about some lady who traveled like fucking stuff. My bad for cussing everything. Younger viewers, please. beat that part.
This is rated R.
Yeah. So for the younger viewers, I'm sorry. So we made like a documentary for this lady who traveled over like 100 different countries.
Wow.
Yeah, and she said I didn't start traveling until I was in my 70s. You know what I mean? So
That's crazy.
And she was like, I think 82 at the time.
Okay.
So like 12 years, she traveled everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was just crazy. And then we edited it, and we did the whole thing on an iPad. You know what I mean? We shot it on an iPad.
What?
We edited it on an iPad. You know what I mean? The whole thing, and then we presented it as like our final project for the whole year.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. And I was like, yo, I want to like learn a little more about this. You know what I mean? But then I was like, is it really practical? You know what I mean? This is something that my mom was gonna be like, go for it, especially like straight out of high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then so I didn't pursue it.
Okay.
I was like, let me pursue other things. Let me find out what other things I like.
For sure.
So I stumbled around other like subjects and shit, and I didn't find any enjoyment in any of that.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And I was working as a typical security officer one night. You know what I mean? Working that night shift. You know what I mean? Just grinding at that night shift. I was like, I just started giggling. I just googled, film schools that offer film that offer film as a degree.
Yeah.
And I just started looking up stuff, and I accidentally sent my email and my phone number to like 5 different schools. Blew me up, and I'm like, damn, like I'm not interested. I was just checking like what's going on. You know, I'm not seriously interested. You know what I mean? I didn't want to go and all these schools were outside of the state. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want to spend 4 years outside of like my family and my close friends. You know what I mean? I just don't want to be that far from my mom.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was not interested until this goddamn school hit me up, and they were like, yo, it's only 2 years. You can actually get it in 18 months.
Wow. Yeah.
And I'm like,
you know what?
that sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
So, and then I started taking the online classes, and I was like, yeah, I need more in like one-on-one engagement with these classes. I'm not trying to do online. So I flew down to Florida. I lived in Florida for like 2 years, making like films with a lot of friends.
What's crazy?
classmates.
Yeah, you can actually search up you show up on IMDb with a ton of credits.
Yeah, I
Which is great.
Big shout out to
yeah.
We're gonna put the link in the description.
Yeah.
No, there's no link, man. Niggas. Don't look me up. I'm not that famous. But I do got IMDb credits, a couple, and it was lit. It was fun. Like, I got really into the sports broadcasting, and I was doing like sports broadcasting interviews for like the people who helped the students that would come and like want to learn a little more. So I was more of like a TA as getting my bachelor's degree. You know,
That's
trying to help other kids that were coming into the school and stuff, just get there, help them out. And it was amazing, and I was like, "Yo, this is lit as shit."
Yeah.
So
Something that you were able to enjoy.
Yeah. But I don't consider myself a creative at all, though. I'm not.
I beg to differ.
Nah,
You mentioned like he mentioned
That's
film and
awkward.
lit. That's actually one of the things. That's one of the classes I took in high school, my junior year. It was like, it wasn't about yours, whereas this lady started, traveling at 70 years. No, ours was essentially about these two guys, people who hated each other in high school. And at the end, they're like, you know what, we're going to have a fight.
Yeah.
And so they go out, and instead of a physical fight, they had a verbal fight. And it was yo mama jokes. So it was me and someone else shooting yo mama jokes back and forth at each other. And we invited all of our friends. So all of our friends are in the
I
background
think
saying,
you showed me that a couple years ago.
terrible. I hope that video never surfaces again.
Yeah, dude.
But no, so
We'll go find it.
Yeah.
It'll be found.
But dude, it's so much fun to kind of get in touch with your creative side. And obviously in the black community, it's so difficult to see many black creatives actually make it.
Yeah.
Whether it's individuals in the film industry, whether it's individuals, whether they're in the arts industry or so on and so forth, where so much is actually dominated and by their white counterparts, and it's a shame. And so like we mentioned in the last podcast episode, if you guys haven't watched that yet, check it out. But Tyler Perry, I mentioned, had his own. He actually created his own studios in Atlanta, right, where he created his own studios, 300 acres. He has all these different things. And what's crazy about it is the first film that's actually shot on Tyler Perry Studios was Black Panther. And look how huge Black Panther is, right? So that was the first film that was actually shot in the studio. And since then, there's been a lot more in regards to TV shows, even that Tyler Perry's created and directed himself. But it's finally grown. We're starting to see this push to more, diverse movies and music. Because before, if you look at it, even the Academy Awards,
Yeah.
It's primarily white individuals who are winning it. And if a black person does win it, it's in that kind of stereotypical role. They're a slave. They're doing it after a famous person. It's never a black person as a protagonist who's doing this, so on and so forth. That it's a fictional story,
For example,
so it's a shame.
For example, my favorite movie director is Sergio Leone and Quentin Tarantino. I feel like the way I see movies and things that are creatively, I feel like the one person that's the closest to it is Quentin Tarantino. And Quentin Tarantino released a lot of racist movies, right? And the typical, when we see a spaghetti western, right, like a slavery movie, what we see is usually the master is dominating the slave, the slave, at the end, like for example, we watch Roots, the slave, when he had the opportunity to kill the master, he didn't, he just walked off. You need that finish, right? What Quentin Tarantino said is, I'm so tired of seeing this bullshit where all the time I'm seeing black slaves are shown as into the weaker position. That's when you watch Django Unchained is you see the protagonist starts off as slow, but rather as the storyline continues, he dominates. He becomes the hero, showing you, hey, in back in the day, this is not how they truly told you the story. That's why I like Quentin Tarantino is he gives you how it is.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you mentioned, like for example, when I started, I don't want to say I'm a photographer, man, because I don't want to do injustice to the real photographers out there.
Yeah, for sure.
They actually do this as a career. I do this as like,
hobby, yeah.
You know what I mean? I do this as a hobby. It's all I want to do is make my friends look cool.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
I don't know if you've done that for me, but carry on. Sure.
I've been asking for like 5 years.
Yeah, but okay. You make your friends. I guess we're not friends now.
I guess not.
Damn shame.
So that's literally just like make my friends look cool. And sometimes, I'll take, because I want to take photos of myself, but my friends don't know how to take photos.
Yeah.
So I just sacrifice. I let them have the glory.
Wow, okay.
Literally, I was like,
That's surprising. I was wondering
Yeah.
why. Because before, I guess earlier, like, when you started kind of, actually, taking up photography, before you were never in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Maybe one time you were in front of the camera, but
Yeah.
now you're kind of getting more comfortable. And why is it? Is it because,
I'm learning.
He always makes fun of me for not being able to take photos. But I see that, you're teaching us the kind of how to hold
Yeah.
the camera, so on and so forth, what to do.
So I realized instead of borrowing all this information on you once, it's just like slowly, here you go once there.
Yeah.
So slowly this builds up.
You badger me and you
Yeah.
physically, verbally abuse me all the time, but, we
But,
don't have to bring that up. We don't have to bring that up.
You brought it up.
You did, I didn't.
I want to talk about this, guys.
So like when I was starting this photography journey, is like I had the first time ever, like just like you, I was in senior year of high school, right? I'm doing all my credits. I need to take an art class. Most of my friends were taking ceramics. I was like, damn, ceramics sounds so cool.
Yeah.
But ceramics was actually filled. So I'm gonna take digital art.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I was like, I'm gonna take digital art. It's a semester class. A high school year is like a year, but this was just one semester. I was like, I'm gonna just take this class. I took this class, so like, oh guys, you're gonna take a photo. You're gonna go to Photoshop. You're gonna edit it. But the thing is, I was so bad at it. But one thing that really impressed me is watching my teacher edit stuff. Most of my friends were not interested. Like I had that little fascination where she would take a photo, but she would do a double exposure on it. So there's like a face, but there's mountains behind the face. I would literally watch that. I was so mesmerized. Like, damn, how'd she do that? But my fascination just ended. As soon as the bell rang, it was gone.
Yeah.
It left.
Yeah.
Then I started picking up, watching people taking photos and stuff like that. But the biggest thing is like having the black minority. Black people are not represented into the culture. I never had anybody to ask a black person that looks like me, or even Somali in that case, that's my culture, to ask, hey, what do I do here? What is the focal range? If I show you my shopping list for eBay and Amazon for lenses, because I had no clue what 18 millimeter was, or who to ask what 18 millimeter was, or a 40 millimeter, or what is an aperture, what is an ISO, what is a shutter speed. I literally had to buy this shit. Oh my God, this is way too zoomed in. What is a crop sensor? So I send it back. I get the other side of the extreme. This is way too wide. This is way too distorted. I'll come back. I'll take a photo nighttime. Shit, man, this is too overexposed.
Yeah. It was a lot of, you were self-taught?
Literally, like I'll sit down. Shout out to security first of all. If I was never security, I would never.
A lot of good things happen to security.
Yeah.
Luqman obviously decided to do film school. Hamza found his hobby.
So the thing is, if I never did security, I swear to God, I would not do Photoshop. I would not do photography. None of that bullshit. But here's the thing. The thing that made me, it's like whenever you teach someone a car, right? If you teach someone a car how to drive manual, you give him an automatic. He goes like, that's it? I just have to press the gas, that's it, and brake?
Yeah.
That's it? I don't have to drive both my hands and my legs? I did the hardest thing in photography, in my opinion, is doing nighttime photography. Because when you do nighttime photography, you have to understand there's some camera, this is for the camera nerds out there, there's some camera capabilities that cannot take photos at night. And when they do, something called an ISO, which is your fake lighting inside your camera.
Okay.
It introduces the image noise. That's when it becomes like a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
You think I knew that shit, man?
No,
I started.
I just found this out right now.
I started inside that, went straight into dark night photography. My image was hella exposed. There's image noise. I'm like, why is it not turning well? I would go back, edit that shit. Go to neon lights, saturated things. Go back. Why the hell is it not working? Little did I know, I am tackling the hardest thing of photography right now.
And now, wow.
And I
that's
never
what
knew
you
that.
started with.
Yeah, and I never knew that. But then one time that I started getting the hang of it, one of my friends said, yo, let's take, because the only time I'll take nighttime shots is because I go to university. That's the only time I freeze the night times, right? Like that when as soon as the sun sets. My favorite photographer is Brandon Wolf. A shout out to him. And when I
Seen
started,
a lot of his work. He's very good. Yeah.
oh my God, big shout out to him.
So question, like, obviously you kind of grew, you know, with your passion. You were able to kind of build your passion and learn a lot while you were on the job. My question is, would you have ever considered photography or, you know, digital art and so on and so forth, what you're able to do? Would you ever make a career out of that?
Yes and no.
Why?
But here's the thing, right?
So talk to me.
So right now, I went to school for engineer, right?
Okay.
I'm an engineer. Shout the Ohio State University.
Shout out. Big ups. Big
This
ups.
is my nigga alum.
Yeah.
I can't look my hates Ohio
Yeah,
State, but
yeah.
we're gonna move on.
I don't hate Ohio State.
Yeah.
I just don't like Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
okay.
gone now, though. Come on.
He's gone.
But let's not
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about it. Let's not talk about
So, I went to school. I was going to school for engineering, right? I was thinking, you know, the major route. Hey, my parents are an immigrant here. I need to get a career, stable, get an engineering job, get that job, yada 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 yada. Little did I consider while I was doing this shit, I'm gonna meet more people here and there. But here's the greatest bonus of being an artist. I'm not considering myself an artist. I don't want to do shame to the legit artists that do this every single day,
Yeah.
right? The reason I'm saying the best part about artistry is your mind gets opened up so much. Your conversation, trust me, my conversation skills were just trash when I was talking to people. My conversation got so much better because I met different people, right? And anytime I would talk to somebody, I would always have a conversation based on Hamza's standpoint of view at all times.
Yeah.
So you would
Which is
tell me a
terrible.
story, I had a car accident, I'm going to be like, let me tell you what time about it. I had a car accident. But the only way this, I guess, developed is like the left side of my brain started functioning where I have to see things in different perspectives, in different ways, right? And this is where photography comes in hand. When I take a photo, I don't think the job is done there. One of my friends, what he does, he literally goes, takes photos of rusts, right? He sees rust, that's all he does. So if I see a rust spot, I call him. He's a macro camera. Macro is like a very zoomed in camera.
Wow, jeez.
So he literally, that's all he does, and he prints them out. That's his passion. When I take a photo, I think there can be 10 different things that can be done. And the hardest thing is I cannot explain it to you what to do here and there, but I just see it, right? And that's
So
what
in regards to, in this creativity process, like, where do you guys get your inspiration from? Like, is it just randomly walking? Because a lot of individuals who are writers, they have kind of writer's block where they just kind of hit this kind of, this wall and they're not able to kind of get over that wall and maybe something has to happen. So how are you guys able to kind of find this inspiration?
You
Hey,
wanna go
Jay-Z.
on? Go done.
So you use Jay-Z.
Yeah.
By his music.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
listen to his music. If I'm like, if I had to write a script, like today, someone said, "Oh, I need a script by next week or something."
Okay.
I'm listening to Jay-Z at least 300 times.
Wow.
It doesn't matter what album it is. I'm just listening to Jay-Z.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know what it is. If I
Even
listen
if
to
this,
Jay-Z,
even if something they want. So
it
it's,
could be about romance,
and
and I'm gonna listen to Jay-Z to get motivation. I don't know what it is,
yeah.
dude. It's just weird. I just listen. I don't know what it
Damn.
is.
Interesting.
I listen to
And what
Jay-Z.
about
First
you?
of all, shout out to Luqman for having a true way of getting your inspiration, right?
Yeah.
I gotta commend you.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
That's why I gotta listen to it 300 times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll listen to it here. Then I'm like, damn, I start thinking about something else. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then when I start thinking on someone else, I get the loopholes. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
Yeah.
I go through this loophole, start thinking of this loophole, and then for some reason, I always come back. It might be the deadline, the day of the deadline, where I'm finally back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm back, and I'm like, okay, I'm refreshed. I have a different point of view now.
Yeah.
I have Jay-Z's point of view. I'm going in.
Because I feel
For
like
some reason, I don't
the
know what it
creative
is.
process,
Is-
it can take a long time. It can take a short time. I guess it all depends on the individual. But like you mentioned, when you have to meet deadlines,
Yeah.
that puts the pressure on.
Right.
Like, for example, where I'm going to a career where engineer, right? There's a right answer, there's a right equation, there's a right process to go
Exactly,
through, right?
yeah.
There's that regimen, boom, boom, so I'm going through.
It's easy, yeah.
And then when I go to the creativity side, this is the best thing and the worst thing about creativity side is there's no right or wrong thing about it. And one of the truest quotes I've ever heard is beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Correct.
Right? At first when I was trying to take a photography, I would ask feedback, right? Some people will love it, some people would hate it.
Yeah.
But it will piss me off that why would they hate it? Because they don't know the work I'm putting in. Trust me, bro. Each photo that I take, I put at least 6+ hours. The minimum I do is 6 hours.
Yeah,
Minimum.
being a creative.
Yeah.
Like one of the biggest things, like even when I was going back to school, they always try to like force that onto us. They're like, you have to learn how to take criticism.
Yeah.
Taking criticism is just as like it's very important. It's just as the work is you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta know when what's not right. You have to like do something and don't just read it to the people that are like. If you write a script, don't just read it to the people you know, like your close friends and your family, because they're gonna always love your shit. You know what I mean? Take it to some goddamn stranger. Walk around. Give it to
because you don't want a lot of yes men around.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's. Why do you think? I don't know. Just you have to like.
But
be
like,
able to
because
handle
Hamza, one thing you mentioned earlier was that in regards to kind of engineering, it's kind of straightforward. Well, I beg to differ. I'm not saying that I'm 100% backing STEM all the way. Forget creative arts. But in regards to STEM, there's a lot of STEM majors. Whether it's the mathematics, whether it's engineering, whether it's any of the sciences, so on and so forth, where you have to have some sort of creative output. You have to be able to kind of, sometimes a problem isn't as straightforward. You have to try to find a way to kind of finagle or kind of finesse your way into kind of finding the answer, into finding the solution. So I really think that the creative process or creative thinking needs to start, at the children level. And that starts with obviously making sure, teachers are able to kind of portray it and teachers are able to kind of get individuals thinking differently. If you're growing up and you're constantly, in this kind of state of mind where it's 1 + 1 is 2, and you just kind of go on from there. And so many people kind of get upset with, oh man, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
Right.
But they need to understand that it helps kind of your creative thinking.
So
you have to be able to make sure you're working with, like you said,
sides.
both sides of your brain.
Like
Yeah.
I was gonna say that real quick. Right? It's like if I ask you today what is 2 + 2, you're automatically gonna tell me it's 4, right?
Yeah.
That's your arithmetic side. It's
depends.
coming into your STEM, right? That's the right side of your brain. But if I ask you what makes up blue, you're gonna look at me. You're gonna draw your color wheel, right?
Yeah.
Because you never
green and
accept-
yellow. No, green and green or red. Green or red.
No, I think it's green and yellow.
Green and yellow.
Blue isn't blue our primary color, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a primary
Oh,
color.
So it's blue.
Nothing makes up blue. Blue is made
Interesting.
by itself. It's a primary color.
Could have sworn green and yellow there.
I guess it could make blue. Could make blue.
But okay,
Can
you
it?
might be right, but I think
Hey
primary
guys, let us
color-
know in the
Yeah,
comments below.
Let us know in the comments, please. But here's the thing, right? Because you're not accessing
Yeah.
the right side of your brain. Just like when Luqman said, right? Luqman is looking like the fact that Luqman he can listen to Jay-Z and get inspiration from it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just sit casually and shit just hits me. I
Interesting.
wish I knew a way I can just go into that state of mind and find a way I can get into it, right? I'll give you a perfect example. Right? So, what's it called? I was using the bathroom, right? Just casually using my phone. And then one of my brothers got me a group message. Not my brothers, actually one of my friends actually made a group message with him. He said, Harry Potter is the greatest series ever created.
Wow.
So we're arguing, debating here and there. Are you talking about just movies or talking about like all that shit? And then just something hit me, right? I was like, oh my God. Like out of nowhere, this happens all the time, by the way. Just all the time. Where I'm just casually sitting and just right there just hits me in the face. I'm going to do a magazine where the magazine moves just like Harry Potter. Because I've never seen nobody do it.
Yeah.
And the fact that I don't know how to get into that state sometimes bothers me, right? I'm just casually sitting, just having a conversation with somebody, and I just go like, one of my cousins is graduating, right? If you could steal this idea, go for it. I'm telling you right now. One of my cousins is graduating. She graduated, actually. She said, Hamza, I want a graduation photo. I was like, all right, I got you. So, those ads that tell you donate 50 cents, you can save a home, yada, yada. I was just casually watching one of those, and he hit me. Because my cousin is from the refugee camps. I was like, you know what I could do? I could have her as a little kid holding the hand of her as an elder person. That's where she came from.
Yeah.
But that just came from me watching that damn commercial,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know how to...
So question. So I see a lot of creatives journal. Is that something that you guys do?
Journal?
Growing up, did you guys ever have a diary? Did you guys ever journal growing up?
No, I do.
I tried.
Okay.
I tried.
What happened? It wasn't
I
successful?
tried. So I tried one day, and I'll forget about it.
Oh,
So
okay.
then 13 days go by, and I'm like,
What's the point of kind of journaling again?
yeah, what the fuck's the point now? So
Yeah.
I do sometimes.
Yeah.
So if I'm like really, I can't go to sleep at the night.
Yeah.
I just write, and I realize when I'm like typing and stuff or like just writing, I always get lazy and I go to sleep.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, this is a great method to go to sleep. So I use it now like,
Yeah.
when I'm writing and shit.
And like you mentioned, your cousin, you found the inspiration of her kind of growing up, holding herself and where she is at now. And let's kind of talk about when we were children, what kind of our parents instilled in us. You know, because our parents, obviously, they came from a war-torn country,
Yes.
you know? So, you know, they come over, they're settling, they're trying to settle here, you know, raising a family here. And, you know, they don't know the language and so on and so forth goes happen. The one thing that they want is they want to make sure that their children gets an education. You know, they obviously want to give you something that they didn't have. So
Yes.
they want to make sure my child gets an education.
Right.
Another thing, they want to make sure that this individual, my child, is able to kind of have a steady job, is able to have steady income so that they don't have to be reliant on some of these menial day-to-day jobs, constantly working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when I kind of see that understanding from parents, I understand why, you know, they have that.
I would
And
do the same thing.
You know
yeah,
what's
because
shocking?
obviously some of our parents are working 2 jobs. They're
You know
trying
what's-
to
you know
put
what's
food on the
shocking?
table, so
Like,
it's difficult.
You know, it's shocking. Like what I just told like you guys about like how when I first left high school, I didn't think my mom would be okay with me.
Yeah, yes,
pursuing it. So like before I left for school and everything, I was thinking about it. You know, me and my mom are really close.
Yeah.
So if I'm thinking about something like a big thing, I'm like I talked to her about it, and she was our perspective, right? So I talked to her about the film. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, what do you think about me going to pursue filmmaking? You know what I mean? I had to say that in a very Somali way, which is very hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially for a person who does not speak Somali very well. You know what I mean? So I told her about it. She was like, go for it. You know what I mean?
Very supportive.
Yeah. She was just like, go for it, and I'm going to help you out. I'm gonna do anything you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She helped me out a lot. You know what I mean? I was in a different state. You know, she helped me out. And I couldn't work because of how like demanding the school was.
Yeah.
So she helped me out a lot. You know what I mean? And like when she told my aunt, but before, even 2 years before that, before I left, like I was thinking about like going to New York and then just trying to find my foot in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then my mom, my aunt was like, let him go by himself if he wants. You know what I mean? They have that mindset. For me, I don't know, my family, they have that mindset of like, go out there. Just go out there and find what you want to do.
Try what
Yeah. We're not going to tell you to go do something. Just go out and find where the world puts you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just where life takes you, just follow that trail, and where you go is where you go. And it's been the same.
Yeah,
I've
but
been doing now. Yeah.
it's very difficult. MashaAllah, I know your mom very well. Second mom to me, obviously. But there's not many parents that are like that.
Yeah,
There's
a
not
lot.
many parents that are going to be willing to support their child financially if they happen to just go and try and
Right.
And
find
you know
their
why that
dream.
is, man? Do you know why that is?
Why?
It's because there's not a roadmap to it. That's why.
That's
man.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. Like,
Yeah.
when we talked about this last episode, is like if a nation wants to infiltrate a nation, if you don't want to do it through military, probably do it through culture. What is culture mainly? Your music, your
Yeah.
arts, right? That's what you do. And they always teach you, oh my God, in Greece, the Renaissance, right? Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci. First of all, if you,
Ninja Turtles, all of them guys. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
all those, they teach you that. Why do they teach you that? And right now, in the world right now, who gets paid the most money?
Probably,
Like,
yeah.
is the
Jeff
is the-
Bezos? Probably.
he's the richest person, but who gets paid the most money? Who gets the most money is true artists.
Yeah. Because the reason why is because there's no cap to art.
Exactly.
There's always a cap to some of these STEM majors.
Yeah.
The maximum engineer can make a couple $100,000.
Yeah.
But art, you can sell
Like-
art for $10 or $10 million.
Right.
Yeah.
Because right now, for example, today, who's more important to society, a doctor or Beyonce?
Yeah, that's Beyonce.
No,
Beehive.
like,
Yo,
who's
yo,
more
I was
important?
Get this right. The Beehive, we don't want to get them. Beyonce
Yo, they're gonna
is
come
more
after us,
important
okay?
than your local doctor.
Yes.
No,
I
that's-
support that message.
Like who's important to a culture, not to society today?
Yeah.
A doctor's far more important than Beyonce.
Yeah.
Let's get
Hey,
right.
again, we're not saying this.
Yeah.
Hamza is saying this.
Guys, I do not condone this.
Why
Okay? But
cannot
carry on.
Beehive,
As you were
we do
saying,
not condone
the
this.
doctor is more important. Okay.
Doctor, it's not even close.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
Well, that's pushing it.
No,
Let's not disrespect Beyonce. Okay.
Hey,
Carry
hey.
on though.
I am not disrespecting Beyonce.
Yeah.
But I'm just okay. But why does Beyonce get paid so much more than? Why does she have so much more influence than a surgeon that saves lives daily? A general surgeon that goes to the emergency room, that clocks in every day, which is his job, is to literally save lives.
Yeah.
Why is that? It's because art gives you two things that this does not. Art gives you actual legitimate power. You're influencing someone. That's what I realized, right? One day I have these moments where I'm gone, right? I zone out.
Yeah.
So one time I realized is why is it that all art forms lead to influence people, right? Is because an artist tells you, I'm living the lifestyle that you're afraid to live. That's what it is. I'm willing to sit down and put in 8 hours into a stupid record that you think is stupid. No, that I think is stupid, but you actually value more because I'm doing it. That's what all this shit is. Like our personal experience is when I spend there's hella nights, man. There's hella nights where I sit down at 3 a.m. and I'm actually doing a photo, and it does not bother me at all.
Yeah.
That I'm actually like going to Photoshop, and guess what? 90% of the times they're ass. They just go straight to the trash can. Swear to God.
Yeah.
If only you guys saw. If for every good photo I post, there's at least 20 trash ones.
Okay.
There's at least a good 20 ones.
We'll take your word for it.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna show it.
We won't believe it, but we'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Because
we know he don't miss.
Yeah, we know Hamza don't miss.
Because last thing, right? I wanna make this statement is, what was I saying actually? I had a very good train of thought.
But you were kind of comparing Beyonce
Artists,
to a doctor.
So like
the
influence, right? Is because today an artist can sell you a can today. Tells you why? Because I drink out of this shit. When LeBron James has Gatorade, when Michael Jordan said "Be like Mike" with that Gatorade ad, him just dunking it, we're gonna be, oh my God, Michael Jordan had this. I'm gonna buy this. Why are all Jordan shoes so expensive? It's because an artist doing his artist form was doing this. Like it takes a lot for you to enjoy different forms of art.
Yeah.
That's what I'm starting to do is appreciate them, right?
Right.
These days, let's the symphony, right? Symphonies, and it's like everybody they reference. He's the Mozart of chess. He's the Mozart of soccer. He's the Mozart. No. So who the hell is Mozart, man? I played one of his symphonies. They're actually usually 9 hours long.
Yeah.
And I go to symphony number 29, for example, and I would just play that shit. No words, my nigga.
Yeah.
No words.
That's actually whenever I'm writing or whenever I wrote papers in college. But whenever I would write, right, some sort of essay or whatever it may be, I would actually listen to piano. I would actually listen to some of these symphonies, so on and so forth. But then I kind of transitioned over to smooth jazz, kind of much more kind of a little bit of funk, so on and so forth that I really enjoy. But yeah, like you mentioned.
And the best part, right?
It's quality.
Yeah, J. Cole said this, right? He said, what's it called? When my friends, like, what they usually do is they usually have jobs, and then they usually ball just kicking it home, right?
Yeah.
That's what they do. He said, I'm not content with that.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if I have that much hours, I can do so much more productive things and go to my career side. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna bullshit to you. The last time I got bored, I don't remember, man. How can you get bored when you're working on a specific craft? And you don't want to master that craft, because if you master it, what are you going to do afterwards?
Yeah.
When someone tells you, Hamza, you've mastered it. Nigga, no, I didn't. I don't want to master it.
There's a lot more to go.
Yeah, because that's the actual joy out of it, is when somebody tells me, yo, I want to be a photographer. I want to be a musician. I want to be a soccer player. You love the idea of being a soccer player. You love the idea of being a rapper. The thing you see Young Thug dropping bars on you, I swear to God. Young Thug just doing his beats, right? I can't have the voice to get Young Thug.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
When he's dropping those bars, trust me. This guy put so many hours in the studio. And guess what he's saying? Take 29 one more time. But you never see that take 29. Yeah. You just see that little fire, 2 minute snippet, and you just put it, and then you record the new captions, right? You gotta have new captions when Drake drops a song. Yeah. But you literally do not see when he's putting in that much time, because he's done one thing. And I'm gonna tell this to artists, right? This is my only advice I can ever give to anybody, is only fall in love with the process rather than the product.
100%.
Right.
At all times.
100%. And that's what one thing that I seen the late great Kobe Bryant said. Kobe Bryant said, I would go and I would take the same shot, right? The same jump shot 300-400 times. He loved the process.
Yeah. And do you know
300-400 times doing the same thing, you would get exhausted.
Yeah.
You would get tired. That's how some of these rappers feel, hearing some of their music over and over and over. This is not it. Do it again. This is not it. Do it again. And like you mentioned, you have to follow.
For the other thing is like
quote of the day right there, man.
Quote of the day, yeah. Love.
You gotta be brave too, man.
Yeah, you gotta be bold.
Brave. Yeah, because like
you gotta be willing to bet on yourself.
Like you were Hamza mentioned it, like where a lot of people, there's not the path. They don't see the path. You know what I mean? When someone, you see a close friend go to school as like, and whatever he goes to school for, and then he graduates in a great amount of time, and then you see them go and like find a job. You know what I mean? All like clearly you see them doing it clear as possible, clear as day. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then they find a job and they're getting paid, and they're actually doing stuff with their life. You know what I mean? And then you're here, you're like, damn, I know so and so did this. Why can't I do it? You know what I mean? So people following someone else, but that's not what they really want to do. They just want to do it because they see what that person's actually doing, and they just want to follow that path. Yeah. Like if someone wants to be a doctor, you know what I mean? They go to the whole path, even though they never wanted to be a doctor. That they probably wanted to be a singer or something. You know what I mean? But singing is very hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. Doctors is very hard stuff. Both hard to get in. But the path is more straight. Yeah. You know what I mean? Than being a singer and like finding all that.
But my question is, guys,
you have to be very brave.
You have to be very, but like there are some individuals where I don't know, like, no matter what they do, you know, even if they've been trying to do music for 30, 40 years, so on and so forth, and they never blow up, maybe because they don't have the talent.
Yeah.
There's some individuals who's kind of born with that God-given talent, some individuals who kind of, grow and become talented. What about some of those people who are talentless, I guess?
Yeah, but
like, what do you do with them?
No,
So you take away their dream?
No. Here's the thing, Haj, right? If they truly love that craft, right? One of my friends he's a painter. He loves to paint. I used to shit on painting because I would shit on any platform, right?
Anything that is digital
I was
art,
ignorant, right? Even if talking, I used to shit on my friends. I said one of my friends had a camera, right? I have a camera, and this guy would buy a $2,000 camera. I said, why do you need that? My phone. I can do the same shit, nigga.
Yeah.
But they do not know. There is a whole world to it. But I don't want to diverse that situation. But he said, one of my friends told me, he's a painter. I was shitting on painting, right? I said, why you want to do this? Why you spend so many hours and you just make a sky? Right? He said, Hamza, it's not that. He said, I love the fact that I'm doing the sky. He gave me a very good analogy. He said, right, in life, right? Look at all the celebrations that you have. Graduation. You condense 4 years of hard work into 4 years of celebration. Your wedding, you're gonna condense decades and decades of marriage into 4 hours of celebration, right? What does that tell you? Life is actually telling you, hey, actually enjoy more of the craft, more of the work than your actual product. And what's it called? The word Archimedes is a Greek philosopher. He said the human being was made to work. He said, God did not give you legs and arms to sit down and sleep. Have you ever seen the ant relaxing for a day? No. You have to get out there and actually legitimately work. And when you truly love the actual process of it, right? Regardless of your outcome or not, you are gonna love the fact that I have an idea that is not manifested yet. Because when I put it to paper and I see the final product, because it's stamped there.
Yeah.
But the idea of me running through it, oh my God, shit, that's cool. Let me add a star here, and then get another inspiration from here. Talk to a friend, and then just something hits you here, left and right. That's the best part out of it.
Yeah.
Photo is good. Sharing on IG is good. Getting a little comments there is good. But me sitting down at 3 a.m., having no clue what time it is, drinking my little coffee that I'm forcing down my throat because I want to get this shit done. You know?
That's actually one of the things Spike Lee said. Spike Lee, obviously huge American director, filmmaker, so on and so forth. One of the things he said is, if you want to do something, you have to make sure you love to do it, and it's not just for the accolades and for the money. It has to be something you enjoy to do.
Would you ask yourself, right, Haji, if today, for example, like if somebody came up to me and said, Hamza, you'll never give me a photography ever in your life, would you still do it? Yes. Because that would show the true love out of it. In any, like, when the corporates blow up, before they do that, when they bring in a board, all that shit.
Yeah.
It's when they're first doing it is the true love. Like when you see a rapper's first album, he did not do that for money. He literally loved it. That's why in the second album, it's usually okay. But usually the first album, fire.
Yeah.
But
except Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar.
And J. Cole.
Yeah. There obviously there's some exceptions where
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar, even J. Cole, some of them said, like, I had to kind of make this first album kind of based on what was currently going on and what individuals enjoyed, what the public enjoyed, is how I was able to kind of get my first work out there. But after that, I was kind of able to freely express myself. Some of them, obviously, their latter work, fantastic.
Yeah.
No, you were saying, I want to answer the question you talked about where someone may not be good at something.
Correct, yeah.
And then should they just give it up on it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we all know MJ.
Yeah.
Junior year, I think it was sophomore season or sophomore year high school.
Yeah.
Off the varsity team. You know what I mean? Another comparison, another guy who can mention, but didn't work out very well. Marco Fultz, sophomore year, got kicked off of varsity. You know what I mean? Well, this is good. Sophomore year, got kicked out of varsity, right?
But they were very young at the time.
But
like, what if someone's been doing it for several years? That's what I'm talking about. That's kind of the.
You know what I mean? But you got. So if you do it for several years, dude, and you've just been going at it and you're bad, that's the people around you who's not telling you the truth. You know what I mean? And you're not pushing, and it's still your fault, because if you're not pushing yourself out of your own comfort zone and getting the feedback of people around you, you know what I mean? And you're bad, and the people around you are like keep telling you you're good. It's your fault for not pushing yourself out there and like figuring out if you're good or bad or not. If you really are, you know what I mean? So you have to push yourself out the comfort zone. You can't be 40 years be around singing to the same damn people all the time. You know what I mean?
Okay, question. Before we kind of hopefully wrap it up in a little bit. So what would you say are some things? Obviously, with our generation coming up, with some of our friends having children, so on and so forth, I'm sure they'll be able to kind of give their children the freedom to be able to kind of express themselves, to be able to kind of choose their own path. because obviously some our friends and so on and so forth have good jobs, they're educated, so on, they're working. You know what I mean? It's stable. But for some of us who are kind of getting a little bit older, right? We're still very young, obviously.
Some of us.
Yeah. But still, let's say you may have a family or something like that. Should they take a risk? Should they go out and actually do what they want to do?
That's when the
I feel like
that's when the love of the thing comes into hand, right?
Nah, communication.
True communication. He's actually absolutely right. But the thing is the love that you have for it. Like for example, when Quentin Tarantino I said sometimes I cannot sleep because I can't make this movie. Like I would literally stay up nights writing a specific script for a specific person, and I cannot have true rest until I've actually done this. It's actually not Quentin Tarantino. It's Martin Scorsese that says this in his masterclass. Big shout out to him. He says, I cannot sacrifice. I truly love this thing. If you truly love something, this is my quote to anybody, right? If you truly love something, there's no way for you not to be good at it. I truly believe that.
Okay. But also, one thing in regards to kind of really blowing up and really kind of being able to make some sort of living off of your art, off of what you do, you need to make sure you have connections. You need to make sure you kind of get your foot in the door. You need to make sure that individuals enjoy it, that you're able to kind of sell this product. Let's say for music and so on and so forth and film, this is something that's kind of out there, individuals can see. But what about someone who's a local artist, right? What about someone like that? Like how hard is it for them to be able to kind of show some of their work? Because a lot of individuals, they'll buy work, because maybe they have some sort of connection with the institution. Maybe they have some sort of connection with
SoundCloud,
your art director, so on and so forth.
If you're a musician, go SoundCloud.
Besides musician, what about someone who actually like painting, for example? Yeah. Like some of these things are difficult.
But
a lot of individuals, they're able to.
Everything's difficult. You know what I mean? It's not just.
But so many individuals, they kind of blow up once they die. You know what I mean? Then their art is forever kind of like
immortalized. Yeah. But that's every form of art. You know what I mean? Like Tupac, he was great when he was alive. He's amazing now that he passed away. You know what I mean? A lot of people are like that. A lot of people are like Pop Smoke. You know what I mean? He recently died, and I know more fans of him now that he passed away than when he was a fan. When he was alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like that. But when you talked about how we have friends who are older who might want to go pursue what they
pursue their dream,
who are married now. Talk to the spouse. Talk to the person you're married.
For sure,
you know what I mean?
For sure, yeah.
Make sure y'all in good financial place. Because when you're married or you're in a situation with someone else, you're not alone. You know what I mean? You can't just make risks. When you're a single person, you can take all the risks you want. You know, when you're the only person you're caring for, you can take all the risks you want.
Yeah.
But if you're caring for others and the other people are involved in your life in the way you live your life,
communication is key.
Communication is 100%. You got to make sure you got to clearly be clear with that person.
Yeah, obviously, we as the next generation of Somalis in the Western world or even in the world, we have to make sure that we are not only able to kind of go after what we want to go after, but also, if we ever have children, that we can also assist them and we can help them out in any, by any means possible, essentially.
Right. And another person who blew up pretty late in their age, like not late, but like late 20s, you know what I mean? And it showed that we both watched Insecure, Issa Rae.
Yeah.
She blew up off Facebook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She used to put her stuff on Facebook. Show got picked up at HBO.
And now look at it. She's doing everything.
Yeah.
Insane. Yeah, I guess, it just takes persistence, obviously passion and love that Hamza mentioned earlier, and a good support system.
And you got it. Like, for example, I want to say this to even the non-artist people, right, is showing support to anybody, right?
Yeah.
What people do is they take things for granted. Yo, come take my photo. I say, yo, I'm charging you this much. He's like, huh? You're charging me?
Yeah.
Well, no shit. When Netflix charges you $14 a month, you pay gladly. Sometimes you don't even watch it, right?
Yeah. Right.
Why you want to give my friend is a painter, right? I told him I want to buy you paint. He said, no, I'm going to give it to you for free. I said, why are you giving it to me for free?
Yeah.
He said, because you're my friend. It just it battered them to that level. Like even local artists, why they're not making money is because people take it for granted because I'm your friend.
They take advantage of these individuals.
And I've seen that so many times, man.
Yeah.
I've seen so many times where people are taken advantage of just because you're my friend. I understand you're my friend, but would you
compensate them more?
Yeah. Would you? The definition of showing support in anybody. If you truly care, will you show support to your friend?
100%.
There's financial ways you can show support. Because understand one thing: when you clock into your 9 to 5, this is not a 9 to 5 job. This is different, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why people are not going to go to the artist way is because it's the fear of the unknown. The same reason we're afraid of the dead, because we don't know what's the unknown, right?
Yeah.
So we're afraid of it. And the fact that they're willing to take that risk, I don't care what you're doing, man. If you're making water bottle today and you're my friend, I'm gonna come buy that water bottle
For sure.
because I understand you need that support whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Having a good support system around you at all times. When somebody writes a script, I'm gonna read it.
100%.
Give him a credit, help him film it, all that. I'm gonna do that. And when you make a trash can today, Haji, guess what? I'll be the first client for you. And you should do this for all of your friends,
Yeah.
even not of your friends, even just normal artists, because that's their only source of income.
And we see that all the time where individuals are like, dude, you're a nobody, and they laugh at them for, saying these are my prices. It's stupid, first of all, and secondly, you should try and show support. That's how an individual is able to make it. And you're one of the people, you're essentially one of the individuals who initially invested in them. You invested in their process, and you're helping them get to places they may have never gone to.
They're taking on the fear, the challenge, the
100%,
unknown, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no direct path to be an artist. Hey, if you
Not
do
at
this,
all.
do that. There's none of that.
Yeah.
Like when you make this a career, like when somebody tells me, yo, I'm not gonna make it as an artist, right? I want to emphasize this a lot, right?
Yeah.
I want to emphasize this phase a lot. If you truly love something, there's no reason for you not to be good at it. What I'm meaning by that is, if you truly love being a basketball player today, you're gonna do everything it takes to be a good basketball. You're gonna go practice. You're gonna do that. If you truly love photography, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna go learn about photography because you truly love it.
Yeah.
If you, in my opinion, this goes to anything. If you truly love something, there is no reason for you not to be good at it at all.
So one of the things I do want to mention and I do want to bring up is make sure you try and find a hobby. So many people, I'll ask them, hey man, what are some of your hobbies? And they don't have an answer for it. You need to try and find something, find some sort of passion outside of school, outside of work that you can do and that, you can have, because it's always nice to kind of have something that you can kind of fall back on and you can just kind of, a lot of individuals, need to be able to express themselves and be able to express themselves freely. So whether you're writing, whether, you're, doing some sort of painting, whether you're releasing music or whatever it may be, even if you don't have to release music, whether you're just kind of doing something, you should have some sort of hobby that you can do. And that's definitely one thing to recommend. And obviously, I kind of want to really emphasize the point that Luqman and Hamza made, making sure you have a great supporting cast and a great support system. This is key to any individual success. Make sure to help out your family, to help out your friends in any way you can.
And I want to end with this quote, man.
Yeah.
My friend Muhammad, he said, everybody's talented, but you just got to figure out what you're talented at.
Yeah, 100%.
Everybody's talented. The question is, can you figure out what you're talented at? That's it.
So guys, please.
Also want to announce by the all purpose is looking for actors. We're about to shoot a short film. So if you're an actor that lives in the Columbus, Ohio area, anywhere in Columbus, Gahanna, east, west, south, what I mean, you will be picked up.
Please give us a holler.
Give us a holler, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got all platforms.
We got a couple scripts, some short script, a longer script as
I'm making a movie inshallah this summer, man.
This summer, a couple of films are being shot. You know what I mean? If you're an actor, if you're interested in filmmaking, if you're a writer, you know what I mean? We'll help you out. You know what I mean? We got somewhat experience, a little bit.
Yeah, we got the Hollywood studios, the Tyler Perry studios. We got the all-purpose studio.
Yeah, all-purpose productions coming through. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're gonna hold you down.
I mean, yo.
And we will compensate you, obviously, in Jolly Ranchers and so on and so forth. Obviously, come on.
You will be fed.
Yeah, you will be.
It might be Jolly Ranchers.
We will be fed. But yeah, if you're interested, please give us a
sound like a little. No candy. You know what I mean?
We're serious. You'll be fed actual food.
Actual food. Hamza, you got food. You're not a cook, right?
We'll figure something out. Again, guys, like we said, please support. Obviously support your family, friends. So that's us.
Yo, actors, we're serious about that. Though. We're looking for actors,
guys.
Like
to you. Make sure to like, make sure to share, make sure to tell a friend, tell another friend.
Drop a comment as well, guys. Please
tell a friend that we're looking for actors. We're serious about this.
Yeah.
All right, we are. Yeah. We're gonna reach out to you.
100%. Yeah. Okay. Who knows? That may be my.
Slide in the DMs.
That may be my talent.
Who knows?
I guess we'll see.
Q Haji. All right.
You got the looks and the eyes for it.
Nah. All right, guys.
I just want to camera real quick.
Stop. All right, guys. You take it easy. Stay blessed. Stay peace. Have a wonderful.